Of course, when the news happens, we're always the first to bring it back to you. My name is Quick Tim. This afternoon, we get to you some latest updates from our world of business. And if you are Kumasi bound from Accra going to do business and you are going to move with an airline, I'm sure this morning you were a little bit traumatized if you were aboard a Stabo airline. We would be talking and getting the details on exactly what led to a Stabo airline just making a U-turn 10 minutes after it was airbound, and then we'll get all that surrounded that particular story. Again, if you love your local delicacies like kinky, obviously you're sharing lunch with me, but the price could be going up because of production cost, and then we'll get back to the market. So this and many other interesting details coming up shortly. We won't be going to the phone line shortly, but before then, let me tease you a little bit with some information that has hit the news decks of TV3 as some passengers who were aboard a Kumasi bound domestic airline Stabo say they were left traumatized after the plane on which they were traveling caught fire mid-air. The aircraft left the Kutka International Airport in the morning but had to make a U-turn shortly after takeoff. Well, there was reported to be a loud noise. Somehow, the pilot was able to manage to run an emergency landing. So it was a Stabo airline and not a 540 airline, as you can see on your screens. It was a Stabo airline. Well, later on, we'll try to get you some details on the particular incident that occurred. Well, joining me on the line right now is James Eric Entry, who's the CEO of Stabo. We appreciate you for joining us, James. But have you, as of now, identified what might have caused that loud noise which sent most of your passengers into that panic state?
Okay, there was a malfunction on one of the engines, okay? And I want to let you know that there was no fire anywhere in the engine whatsoever. What the passenger saw might have been maybe exhaust from the fire from the exhaust. That is quite normal with the engines anyway. And the captain, in his old, this experienced captain for like more than 20 years of flight, had to come back with this aircraft to Accra. There was no fire on the engine, there was no aircraft on fire, there was nothing whatsoever. And in fact, this aircraft has got 4 engines, so if there's any malfunction on one of the engines, it doesn't have any effect on it. So the aircraft came back to Accra, did a normal landing, there was no emergency declared as people have been saying, and I want to let you know that the aircraft is not damaged, just the engine did malfunction.
Give me a clear picture when you say malfunction. Passengers are not too sure. So when you say malfunction, what exactly do you mean?
That's the technical problem with the engine, okay? And the crew, they're in charge of the aircraft. At the front, they see everything that happens in all the parameters. No, so they took the necessary action to forestall whatever.
James, as the CEO, we've had hours go past. Now, I expect that you give us a crystal clear picture of if there was a malfunction or a technical problem, you would obviously have a little detail so that you can make all the passengers who were aboard at least get some rest or be calm now.
My information is that the passengers were informed that there was a technical problem and the aircraft was returning to Accra, which they did. So there was no any panicking, whatever, or any incident on board whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned. So the aircraft never caught fire. There was no engine fire. The aircraft is so damaged, it is sitting on the car, as I can tell you now. And in fact, we do have 3 aircraft. So when aircraft go back to Accra, we just have to put them on another aircraft back into Kumasi. That is what we did.
Should I believe that thorough check was not done on that particular airline before it took off? Because here, passengers' lives were at stake.
No, on the contrary, we do checks on aircraft every day. We do serious maintenance. Our records will indicate we do everything normal. So I mean, there are some things that do happen, but this is something that is not normal that should happen. Like it's like you don't have any control over things like engine, small malfunctions right there. These are these little things that happen when you do flights. There's no any major malfunction that presses back. No, not at all.
James,
I've actually gone to Kumasi, but the company policy says that if you have such a problem, come back to Accra because Accra is our base, and then we just go to another flight. That was it.
Well, James Eric Entry, as a CEO of Starboard, let me salute you for joining us with the details. He says there was a technical problem and that forced an emergency landing. We'll go into other matters and some more information that we're getting indicate that a team from the International Monetary Fund is expected to be in Ghana early next month. We're talking around September to begin talks on helping salvage the ailing economy. A formal request was tabled by Ghana on Friday, August 8. Deputy Managing Director of IMF, Min Azu, said the statements its management received a formal request from the Ghanaian authorities to initiate discussions on the economy. President Mahama, prior to his departure to the United States, tasked the Ministry of Finance to begin talks with the Bretton Woods institutions for what has been widely considered an IMF bailout. Well, in a statement, Mr. Zhu said the fund standing ready to help Ghana address the current economic challenges. So those are some of the latest details we'll get in so long as Ghana's request for a bailout from the IMF is concerned. Well, like I talked about, if you love your kenke for this afternoon, then obviously in the near future you should see the prices are stabilized. Well, you may have had your kenke today, or probably you're just about to do so. The once affordable meal is gradually becoming expensive. Well, the details is with my colleague Jason Amu. He tells us what is happening in the kenke business.
Kenke is a staple food for most Ghanaians. It is affordable, making it a preferred choice for many. Kenke sellers, however, say cost of production is currently very high and throwing most of them out of business.
First, I believe price is low.
Previously, a sack of maize did not cost much, but now we are buying it for 160 Ghana cedis. We are also buying the corn husk for 60 Ghana cedis, which was cheaper before. We have had to increase our price despite complaints from the public.
1.5, 2 million.
We are buying pepper for 150 to 200 Ghana cedis because the traders have decided to cause an artificial shortage in order to maximize profits, and that is affecting our business. We all must change our attitudes as Ghanaians.
Just like most businesses in the informal sector, its contribution to national revenue cannot be overlooked.
We pay levies to the tourist board, taxes to the Metropolitan Assembly and the Ghana Revenue Authority, besides electricity and water bills. All of these have become difficult for us to pay.
But will the kenke business survive the economic challenges and continue to feed the masses?
Don't I just simply love my kenke? Well, especially if their flatter is a little bit soft. My name is Kwekutamin.